Hello everyone. So today I'm going to go on a little rant. I just can't help it. In the Globe and Mail today, the report on business section, there is a article in here on Mark Carney, who is our Bank of Canada governor, his dollar dilemma. The Canadian dollar has been really moving up against the American dollar and against the euro recently, and that's a problem for exporters, so it's a problem for the Canadian economy, so it does affect all of us, and it's something that they should be thinking about. However, I love the way that this article kind of suggests that everything can be okay because they've come up with this strategy. Listen to this. It says Canadian policymakers are in a unique position to try this approach they're talking about here. They've spent months studying ways to lower borrowing costs by creating money. So, they've spent months studying how to lower borrowing costs, and they're going to do that by creating money. And it's funny to me that this is just kind of thrown in here, and it's one little sentence in the big article. And the thing that you should be concerned about as a Canadian is that whenever money's created like that, the result or the symptom of it is inflation, and prices go up. No matter what you read in Statistics Canada, that prices are kind of stable. That basket of goods is not really a true representation of how you and I spend our money every day. So something to think about. And it's part of the reasons that we like real estate, and cash flow is king, and you have these assets that produce cash flow for you, but you have to be aware of inflation. It's something you need to study, and it just amuses me when we read things like this in the paper, and it's something that I think we can all benefit from. If we're learning about it and you're learning about it, we can all help each other through it and kind of grow together. So just something to be aware of. Watch for these little things in the paper, really enlightening, and that's it. And I'll leave that as my rant. But here's what I wanted to talk about. When real estate investors buy properties, one of the things that most people are really good at is getting the fundamentals of the property right, the fundamentals of the area right. They're buying in a good economic area, they're buying a good property. The most common thing that's overlooked, by far, is the marketing. So there's a few things to look at. Once you have the property, you're going to need to market that property, whether it's an apartment building or a single family home or a student rental, whatever it is, you're going to need to market it. So there's a few things that you should look at. One of the things is the local newspapers and the frequency of them. If your community has a local newspaper that just goes out 2 or 3 times a week, that's good, but it's not great. If you're in a community that has the frequency of the paper goes out every day, or 6 out of 7 days, that's better, because you're going to be able to spread your message faster. All right? And if you're in a community that is served by a local paper, and maybe a bigger paper, a bigger daily overlaps that area, even better, because you have now other ways, and that's kind of point number 2. What are my alternatives? If the frequency of the main paper in my area only goes out 3 times a week, so for example, in Mississauga, a suburb of Toronto, the Mississauga News only goes out 3 times a week. If there's another paper that goes out, maybe I can use that. There's the little Streetsville paper that goes out, I think, once or two times a week in Mississauga too, so perhaps I can use that as well as an alternative to the main paper to spread my message. The Toronto Star overlaps on Mississauga, so you can try that as well, but you need to plan your alternatives in case your main advertising source doesn't go out frequently enough, or it doesn't produce. All right, so you need to check that out. And the last thing is skill. How good are you at doing this? One thing that we're constantly working on is like our marketing, the way we write the ads for our properties in the newspaper, testing them, testing different words, and then we're always monitoring how we are on the phone and how we're able to get people out at the properties, and then we're always monitoring how we're dealing with the people at the properties, how many applications we get. So something to keep in mind when you're starting to grow your real estate portfolio is get really good at real estate, get really good at finance, and get really good at properties, but devote some of your attention to another skill. You need to develop multiple skills, and one of the things that may be helpful to you is studying the marketing of your area. Newspapers, what alternatives you have to the main newspaper in the area. You can also go online, of course, which is another alternative, and how skillful you are at writing the advertising, follow up on the advertising, and dealing with people in the properties. So something that we spend a lot of time in, and hopefully that's helpful to you. That's it for today. Until next time, your life, your terms.